Welcome back to the LEC Star Guardian week. There he is, Fiddlesticks.
Isn't he the nemesis?
He's the bad guy. Yeah, I don't know why we're putting the bad guy on stage.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
That's echoing.
Did everyone hear that echo?
Are we
Or just
gone?
us? Maybe just us.
No, maybe just
Welcome. We're Star Guardians now, too. You can tell from my very over-the-top eye makeup and his necklace and stars. There they are. Wow.
Star Guardians.
Yes,
Look at
embodying the
us.
Star
Who'da
Guardian
thought, eh?
values, friendship,
Yep.
thigh-high leggings, everything Star Guardians stand for, just generally on the desk. Time for Team BDS versus Rogue. This game, I'll be honest, we were a bit skeptical of how BDS would come into the week. There was a bit of optimism as we've seen a lot of teams were practicing. Today is the day they need to show us more because yesterday was the most one-sided game we have seen all season, and they are up against a titanic opponent.
Into draft we go. Do they have funky music for every different kind of draft? Holy moly.
Yeah, again, if you haven't checked this out, Sessions Star Guardian Talia. If you like any of this music, you'll probably like this entire thing.
Also, I've learned that we're wizards. Every game we cast, we turn the players into teddy bears. Have you noticed that? Yesterday we did it. Today we did it again.
That's so sick.
That's our Star Guardian powers.
If we go separately to the LPL and LCK, we have found a way to get the LEC to win Worlds.
Yeah, we just turn every player into teddy bears.
all the opposition into teddy bears. One step at a time. Master plan.
Well,
master plan for BDS, taking away Callista. Similarly, the GP going to be off the board. Corki. Huh. Okay. Not the flashiest champion in the current meta, but obviously fits into a lot of compositions.
Yeah, last thing I'm thinking of here is something like the Wukong, perhaps, which Vitality was banning out yesterday. Up against Rogue, otherwise they might look to 1-2 that. So actually taking away Ezreal of all picks, Zeri is up, incredibly powerful first pick if either team's gonna go for it. Seraphine, Renata, the flavors. There's a Seraphine first pick, probably going bot lane for Maddie. I mean, we did see FLICKR today in the LCK play Seraphine mid, so it does have that flexibility. We'll keep around to see if they do that. Of course, they're on blue side, so they'll have to reveal it eventually.
Yep, champion obviously incredibly powerful. What the response is going to be is a big question. If it is a flex pick, it gives a lot more drafting edge here to BDS as they get to hide some of that information. But for now,
Gnar.
Blind pick Gnar. Again, week 3, we would have been skeptical. It's all right, it's okay, it's a fine pick, but it's been proven to be pretty powerful across the world. While we were taking a break, it's risen, I think, a lot.
Odo's been sitting in my co-streams every Eastern game. Gnar first pick, Gnar first rotation. Odo says, yeah, I can do that, pick me Gnar. So we'll see if, he can do that. We'll see what counter pick BDS have, because with the GP ban already, that's one of the answers you have. Nami blind tells you that that's probably going to be a Lucian on 3. Do you play Lucian Seraphine bot to deny that? I wonder. I would say X for down on that one. I'm expecting some kind of maybe Pike from Erdote would be ideal if you're playing the Seraphine AD carry. Of course, you don't have to reveal where it's going just yet. Matching top, also a no-brainer. Gnar, huge prio for Agresivoo. It's his most played, so good denial there by Odo. We've seen Agresivoo's Irelia and things like this, so we'll see if he opts into it. Sejuani wouldn't surprise me either.
For now, the Nautilus, luckily for us, not generally considered flex pick, so pretty confident that one's going to the hand of Erdote. Now,
tell that to Doinby.
God, man, stop. Why do you... This is the problem. We can have... If we include Doinby in the conversation, 90% of the champions that aren't supposed to go mid, go mid. So how about... do I need to say every time, oh, it's not a flex pick unless Doinby... He's not even playing in our league. Sylas going to get locked in, premier pick. Now we know for sure the Seraphine is going bot lane. Again, unless Doinby's in the game. Caedrel, thank you.
And then Sylas goes top. We did see Sylas top in the LEC against Gnar. That's what I'm saying. But no, it's really good into Gnar. You take away Gnar ult, you just slam dunk one-shot the enemy team. I've even done it on stage before, so it's not very hard to do. You just have to take it away in the team fight.
Don't disparage yourself like that. That was a great game and a great Gnar ult.
Oh, thanks, man.
Obviously, the strength is Sylas gets the Gnar ult whenever he wants. Gnar has to wait for a stupid rage bar, has to find the good setup, but also AP ratios on the Gnar ultimate turns out very strong.
Very strong indeed, and it's AD as well, so it goes through Hex Shrinker anyways when it applies. So Irelia banned away, that'll deny the Gnar kind of quote-unquote counter pick. I think Sejuani is a no-brainer ban as well. If they play something like Sejuani, Wukong, or Xin Zhao on 4-5 here, it does make BDS's comp have a little bit of sense to it in terms of lane phase itself. We'll see what mid laner Larssen wants to opt into. That Lucian, again, I've said a lot of flexes, but Larssen loves Lucian mid. I would be very, very surprised to see if Lucian goes mid into Sylas because it's so good bot with Nami, but it is quite a good matchup for the Lucian. Otherwise, I mean, Azir is going to get banned away against Larssen. Control mages in general are going to get banned away against Larssen. He does like his Akali and his Ahri, so we'll see what he opts into, because I'm expecting... The question here is, it's awkward for both teams. Rogue, do you counter-pick jungle, or do you just take your strongest jungler on 4, right? This is the kind of question they have to ask themselves, because the 4-5 doesn't have much value anymore.
It's true, and additionally, it's just the jungle pool has not looked very deep from what we've seen so far, so I would be assuming that they would just prioritize the strongest jungler as soon as possible, but it is also possible, especially for Malrang, a player whose champion pool is always a little bit outside the norm, that he has something special up his sleeve.
Definitely does, and we'll see what that champion could be. I mean, Volibear is up, very stock standard early game jungler to get your team to the game. You have Lucian, Nami, incredible dive. Wouldn't surprise me if they go for something like that. Sion, good playmaker. Poppy, flavor of the month right now. I think Poppy for either side here would do incredible amounts of work, but it looks like they're gonna pick. Are they gonna pick Lissandra into Sylas? That would be very surprising, because normally you pick Sylas into Lissandra, so a little bit of self-count pick there, but that's Larssen playing for team comp there. He's playing 4-5v5.
Yeah, obviously Lissandra does a lot in the 5v5 or passive, the ultimate. You've seen her in countless games now, but it is a little bit difficult up against Sylas, who has so much natural sustain built into the kit with the W, can take away the ult himself. Generally, very powerful champion overall. Expect to see Lissandra get a little bit of early wave prio as Ice Shard's just such a good pushing tool. But Caedrel, you called it. Wukong on 4 coming in for BDS. Rogue willing to give that one up. Remember, the Lissandra really not contested whatsoever, so maybe Rogue do have a counter pick up their sleeves.
Do you go Sejuani here and just put it into Gnar? You could also put Sylas into Gnar. Like I said, we've seen it before. I think Sejuani just fits the comp well. Ornn as well is just... Ornn is Ornn, you know, blows a horn, presses R, gets a pentakill, so you may as well pick that as well. So it's just going to be some kind of... Oh god, have we got a Graves top here? Is Flandre in the studio? We're going to get a...
I need to ban you from LPM.
No, Baus in the studio. It's going to be Sion there, so that is one form of engage. Not actually opting for the Ornn, which is kind of flavor of the month right now, but I think what they're worried about is if you're playing Seraphine AD, Sylas mid, Ornn top, you're just a lot of magic damage, very magic damage heavy, and they want to avoid that.
Yeah, does make a lot of sense. Adaptation now coming in. Trundle, of course, going to feel very good against the Sion. Easy way to interrupt the ultimate, easy way to stop the Nautilus from getting onto your backline with that pillar and the ability to steal away so many stats. Instead, the Malrang Lee Sin. I've gotten so used to seeing this guy just play random early aggressive junglers that I kind of forgot that this was in his pool.
I mean, I prefer Trundle for team comp, but I think they're taking a page out of Mad Lions' book and saying, wow, Lissandra Lee Sin, you can dive top level 5, level 6, almost every single wave. Oh wait, we can do that too. Let's do that as well. So we'll see if Rogue can pull it off, play for that heavy early game, because I mean, they've got incredibly strong meta champs. Lucian, Nami bot, one of the strongest bot lanes in the game right now. Gnar, the strongest top laner in the game, and then Lissandra Lee Sin. So lots of playmaking, incredible early game. Whereas BDS have more of an, we're gonna get pushed in and play for team fights. So the case here, and what we want to have to look at here is, can Rogue get a 2-3k gold lead, stack early Drakes, get early dives off, and then snowball their leads? Or can BDS weather the storm, get to the mid to late game 2 or 3 items, and then look to take some 5v5s?
Something we have to keep track of as we go into this game. The first few weeks, BDS's early games were not bad. It has been going downhill, but maybe they can find that form again to weather the storm, to make it to the late game, to find the edge in the team fights as you've talked about. Rogue on the opposite side. Rogue early game. We talk about it just about every split. They've been good, and it has been a lot of them consecutively. Kings of the best of one is so often the case. Gonna have to find out what they can do, what they can bring to the table. Let's get ready for this game.
Yeah, and yesterday they were up against the Lissandra Lee Sin of Mad Lions. Game is ready. Let's get into it.
Breaking news.
Tell me.
Rogue may try to fight on this little piece of vision.
Ooh, okay. Hide on bush in case Cinkrof wants to walk up and ward. A bubble out of nowhere lands on his head.
I love it.
Cinkrof goes to the graveyard. That's the plan here for Rogue. Obviously, Trymbi won't take Q until he sees the Wukong. If he doesn't see him, then he'll take the best spell for lane,
I love how deep you're going on this. You're building me a story. You're great at narrative. I know you're Mr. Analyst, but that's great.
You like that narrative?
They're here in case someone shows up. You're like, no. Waiting in the shadows is Trymbi. lurking with a bubble.
Okay,
Single moment.
No,
you know what I
keep
mean?
going. You can do it.
No,
as
no,
well.
you're doing it too.
No,
I'm just saying. Yeah, no,
No,
you're killing it.
We're both doing pretty good at that, actually.
Narrative aside, nothing's going to happen here. We'll keep an eye on jungle pathing and the early top lane matchup. Sion, of course, incredibly obnoxious. You won't see the Babos style of play, mostly because they basically took it out of the game by nerfing Sion's tower damage.
On his passive, yeah.
Yep.
Can't have any more good deaths, unfortunately.
Nope. You can have okay deaths, but they're never going to be good again, Sag. Down on the bottom side, though, I'm really curious to see Seraphine. This is the first time I've gotten to cast a Seraphine bot in a very long time. I want to see what she's going to do, especially as we move later into the game. Guardian, obviously, a bit more of a supportive rune choice.
See, normally the idea of counter-picking the Lucian Nami is things like, I mean, in the LCK, for example, Kog'Maw Lulu is what is often picked into Lucian Nami. We also see Nautilus lanes with AD carries like Aphelios with good setup, because then if you hit a hook onto the Nami, you have incredible kill pressure.
Yep.
The problem BDS have is the Seraphine doesn't have incredible kill pressure, so the hooks landing won't actually net you winning trades, so I expect them to get pushed in and be more of a team fight. Bot lane, playing for team, or getting Erdote out of lane towards mid. So we'll keep our eye on mid, as Larssen is getting incredible shove already. We'll see if he does things like the LPL mids and Niski's been doing in the LEC. We've talked about it many, many times, where you just push in and go to sides. Sion, of course, a lot harder to dive, and I think BDS, of course, went up against the Mad Lions yesterday. Agresivoo went up against the Lissandra Leeson, and the dives came through. What happens when you dive a Sion, Drakos?
You die, because his passive is insane. He has a Q that if you can't immediately interrupt will knock you up, and generally just considered suicide. Part of the reason why he's so good back when people were trying to force split push meta is because, yeah, impossible tank to dive.
So when you normally think of teams that split the map level 1 and they send their bot lane top with Tristana and you want to get as much plates as possible, you pick a Sion.
Yep.
Because when he dies under the tower, you still get gold and resources and XP anyway from killing the creeps in your zombie form. So the dives will only net kill gold, not so much XP and gold denial from creeps. So smart pick up there by Agresivoo. I think that's the reason he opted into it over the Ornn. And that's why Malrang is on the bot side of the map right now. Interesting pathing. Completely skipped his red and Krugs, just went Raptors into full clear bot. Wants to look for some early bot plays or to find Cinkrof, who, again, yesterday wasn't able to find absolutely anything on Jarvan. This time around on the Wukong. Doesn't have to find things, just has to make sure he stays even with Malrang, or at least find a way to trade objectives.
And Cinkrof is definitely a player that I want to keep my eyes on, because there's so much setup across every single lane. Top lane really the only one that's not super reliable until Sion has 6, but this bot lane, good setup. If they catch him under tower, they get some damage down. Comp, a cleanse. But a very positive trade. They're now trying to keep this one going. Comp flashing out to safety. This is the danger of misstepping in this lane. There is so much CC. Even if the damage is lacking, the tower more than makes up for it.
Yeah, big blunder there by Comp, almost getting hooked into tower. If the tower shot came through, he was dead. So disrespecting Erdote there a bit. Maybe thought the wave was going to block it, but it didn't. And he loses both of his summoners. Malrang will spot Cinkrof. The sweeper should help him out to get a little bit more information that lasts longer to see Cinkrof. And I think Malrang wants to go back to his top camps here. He just needs to make sure that his bot lane is safe. And for now, it looks like they are. Cinkrof could see Malrang without the red and say, huh, he hasn't done red buff yet. That means he has to go top, and maybe they can force a bot dive. We'll see if he does do that, but looks like for now he's going to go back to his camps.
Limited tracks to move further in the game, as well as the Ignite coming in on Larssen. Another engage on the bottom side. Trymbi without mana. Just has to walk away on this one again. A little bit more damage. Empowered spell will be the next one. Good damage coming through. Trymbi just barely walking out. And again, all of this compounding from the earlier mistake, meaning basically a free back for BDS.
Very surprising what's happening in this bot matchup. Comp and Trymbi losing 3 summoners now. BDS dominating the bot side of the map. I expect them to just kind of sit on the tower and get pushed in and just sacrifice themselves a bit for the team, but it looks like they're just taking over that lane. Hooks connecting left and right.
It's impressive when you think this is entirely base damages without any relevant combat keystones outside of the damage reduction that comes in from Erdote, because that was a tier start on the Seraphine.
Yeah.
And a Relic Shield up against a Lucian with Press the Attack and Electrocute. Like, you should not win trades against that lane, yet despite everything, xMatty and Erdote making the most of those base damages.
Still ahead in CS though, Comp, you can see up 200 gold, has the NUCLEARINT on base. As NUCLEARINT just keeps wanting to trade. This is why Sylas is good into Lissandra. You can kind of dash into her as she's trying to push in the wave, tank her Q and just out-damage and out-sustain her. So eventually Larssen will have to back off here. Looks like he wants to stay for one more wave. Trymbi looks like he ran towards mid there and gave him a little bit of a heal. Doesn't have TP, NUCLEARINT doesn't either, and looks like NUCLEARINT did base, so Larssen should be alright. Odoamne winning top, bot lane winning, mid lane winning, Rogue with these 3 pushing lanes, all accruing CS advantages.
And you can see in the scoreboard at the bottom, all the gold in favor of Rogue right now. It's mounting to almost 800 here in the early game alone. Despite all those positive trades, despite what looks like some okay matchups, Sylas into the Lissandra or xMatty and Erdote finding those hooks, gold still continuing to go in favor of Rogue, and it's only going to get bigger as we move on. But again, remember for BDS, weathering the storm, surviving the early game, getting to level 6, getting to big fights and skirmishes, leveraging the CC and the front line that they have.
Yeah, but I do think they have an opening, and it's bot lane. No flashes on both of them. They have a pink in that tri-bush. Cinkrof is around. They have incredibly good setup because the Nautilus has flash. All Erdote has to do is flash hook or just flash auto attack the Nami and she's dead. So even the ward in river won't save them. Cinkrof should just look for a gank here and they should be able to get first blood pretty happily. Malrang needs to match and cover this. You can see how far back Rogue are playing this. They're respecting it so much. Now they have the question, is Erdote faking the junglers here or is he just giving it away too much? So they're going to take the 50-50 and walk up. I think Erdote is going to flash auto attack any second now. They really want this.
So long to make this play happen. Going in, flash forward, hook onto Comp, manages to land it. Comp now getting taken out. First blood coming through. Cinkrof with the OG logo flash. You love to see it. NUCLEARINT now trying to get this fight going. Malrang now stepping up. NUCLEARINT already backing off. He's under the safety of his tower. They're going to try to keep this fight going. A little bit of healing coming in from the Sylas. How long on the cooldown? Waiting, ticking, burning. He's going to walk away alive, and that's perfect from the side of BDS.
BDS winning out on the map. Larssen just lives as well. Both mid laners under 5% HP. Both escape. Gold is evened up since that bot kill. And BDS dominating these early stages where we expected Rogue to take advantage of it. And that's just all coming down from execution. The 2v2, BDS played it better. The gank is just obvious and it's kind of unavoidable for Rogue unless Malrang was around bot lane there in lane and was able to counter gank it. This case he wasn't. I thought Nami would be the free kill here, but Erdote confident enough to land the flash hook now that Comp hasn't... he has already used the dash, sorry. If Malrang was around, maybe they could turn onto Cinkrof, trade a 1-for-1. And then here's the mid fight. NUCLEARINT doesn't have Ignite, so he can't get the full kill. And the second he realizes Larssen's walking up and casts the ult, he knows he has to flash. Malrang goes in, doesn't have the 6, and he's tanking tower. Ignite dropped. I think Larssen re-tanks the tower here because of the Ignite proc. And then he almost dies as well. So very, very lucky there for him to get out. Backfiring a bit onto Rogue there, losing their summoners on their mid jungle.
And again, credits to NUCLEARINT for the early flash there to get himself under tower, recognizing that he was the point of liability with that play going down on the bottom side of the map. The only real counterplay from the side of Rogue was to attack him in the mid lane. Rogue still pulling ahead a lot in terms of CS. You can see the Gnar pulling ahead of the top lane, 70-56, but BDS firing back a bit, and I think the bottom lane remains the strong point. Lucian falling behind in the early game. It's not a death sentence, but definitely not why you're picking the champion. You're picking it to dominate that lane. It has not been the case for Rogue so far.
Definitely has not. You can see Erdote around mid trying to get some vision. Malrang's going to start up the Herald. He has the push in top. Larssen has ultimate, of course, because Sylas took away the Lissandra ult. It will be a longer cooldown. It will be double. So Larssen can just run back towards his top side with his ult up, and they can't really contest. BDS probably going to look to trade. I wouldn't be surprised if Cinkrof tries to force his way in here and get the dragon. Trymbi disrespecting a lot here. No flash in the face of a Wukong level 6. Could have turned out badly, but he's alright, and there's the objective trade.
BDS starting the dragon. And it seems like they're okay just trading that for the Herald. Obviously weren't positioned to do so. You highlighted it, the differences in ultis, the fact that Larssen was ready to collapse there. So not the best trade for BDS in terms of gold, but again, when we talk about going later in the game, when we talk about scaling up, it's certainly not the worst thing to have.
Definitely not. So, Storm has been weathered so far. The only one who's really winning in isolation as expected is Odoamne. I mean, you're playing Gnar into Sion. You've been left on an island. Has got a 20 CS lead. See if you can get some plates. I mean, they have Herald here, Rogue, and the fact that they have 3 pushing lanes, quote-unquote. They have 3 lanes where they can place this Herald. I think getting the gold on the Lucian is probably the most important. Odoamne will get the plates by himself and doesn't really want this tower to die so he can continue laning against the Sion. Larssen is a setup bot anyway, so Comp is the real damage dealer in this composition.
Definitely is. Not sure exactly what he'll want to work towards here. Normally it'd feel like an easy call to go for a dash, but obviously the Kraken Slayer against what is a very beefy front line certainly wouldn't hurt either.
I think the power is Gale Force. You know, you E forwards, get the Nami E, and then Gale Force, auto Q ult. That's your basic burst combo. And then the Electrocute will proc off the Nami as well. It's incredible amounts of burst. I think it was Ruler was playing Lucian Nami, and he was 7-0 by like minute 20, just one-shotting absolutely everyone.
And it's going to be big, especially to stay ahead of the curve, because again, the Sion will be a problem, while Odoamne is going to continue to pull ahead. Sion just gets so much innate tanky stats coming in from the health stacking on his W, and yeah, Odoamne is going to bully in these long extended trades, but in the team fight, Sion always going to be a difficult frontliner to deal with.
They're going to look for a kick here, I think. They have a lot of chain CC. No Merc Treads on NUCLEARINT.
And ulting, moving away, kicking him back in time. Now he's locked into the tower, stunned onto Larssen. Ignite going down. They're taking an aggro so far. Larssen potentially in trouble, but has flash, makes it out to safety.
Great chain CC there by Trymbi. If he wasn't there, that would have backfired extremely quickly. NUCLEARINT gets ulted, knocked up, and then a bubble lands, so he isn't actually able to turn there, NUCLEARINT. Nice try, but there's the 3 versus 1 happening. Lots of ultimates used there by Rogue, but they'll get out alive.
And credit to Rogue, 1.5k in the lead, only about 11 minutes in. Haven't even used the Herald yet either, so this could very quickly get much, much larger. Not sure exactly where they'd want to use it. Again, you highlighted on the top side, Odoamne happy to just keep farming, happy to stay in the lane phase, continue to build the lead that he has. Maybe they use it to try to break mid lane. We'll see. For now, though, Malrang playing on the top side, clearing out his camps. We'll see where he wants to go.
Yeah, big lead for Larssen now. Huge CS numbers for him, Malrang. And it's very simple to play the Lee Sin Lissandra. You either have insanely good kill pressure in mid, or you have insanely good kill pressure on sides. Pick your poison. Looks like Rogue want to play around mid for now. The Sion too hard to dive, and bot lane is struggling to get the push ever since they've lost that lane. So let's go through mid, and now all they'll have to do is wait for the ultimates again, and then just rinse and repeat. Erdote is just trying to hover around. Larssen, no flash, no ult. Maybe if he can...
What? Hex flash? Nope, that was real flash. Erdote in the mid lane, leveling up, and...
Okay. I mean, I guess...
He saw something we didn't see. Or maybe it was a normal Hex flash. I'm not sure. Why? Double check.
I think he tried to flash over the wall and hook because Larssen has nothing, but... Ooh,
flash over Cinkrof. Speedy. Speedy's got one more stack. Oh, the flash out!
Doesn't get the knockup. Doesn't get the knockup. Yeah, Herald's going to be popped mid. Rogue's going to instantly respond the second they see the Gnar bot. Cinkrof, no ult, no flash, means he's really weak in the skirmishes. Crowd's loving it.
Here, call. Stolen away ultimate. It is going to get picked up. Sadly, no tower break.
Look at the CS numbers in mid. It's a 35-ish, 36 CS lead for Larsen's.
I mean, yeah, again, as good as some of these early plays looked, as good as some of the early lanes in terms of trading looked, Rogue just dominating in the CS department. Really only bot lane, again, the focus area for BDS if they want to pull ahead. Agresivoo doing okay to get back some of this farm, to get back as much as possible, but Odoamne just keeping this wave under his tower 24/7.
I think this Sion is going to become incredibly tanky if he builds an Anathema's Chains and just puts it on Larssen and then builds full armor. Because there's really no magic damage mage threat on Rogue. It's just a lot of single target damage bursts from a Lissandra who will be targeting carries anyway, and then the DPS is coming from Comp and, well, Odo, depending on which form he's in, right? So Agresivoo will be very happy if he can get to 3 or 4 items here.
And to be honest with you, the amount of health that he already has from his passive, last we checked, is around 400. He can go Anathema's 3rd, maybe 4th. He can just focus on armor at this point. It won't hurt him too much. Keeping our eyes on the potential play here, though, as Erdote is locked up. Malrang stepping forward, looking for a kick angle. Doesn't need to use it. There's going to be a quick pickup there onto the support.
Erdote, no flash from earlier on. I think they must have seen that Rogue, timed it, made sure that they could make that pick happen, and Erdote has no way to escape. NUCLEARINT was around, but they can't commit to that 3v3. And Dragon up in 30 seconds. I think that's where Rogue will look to secure the objective. There's nothing else on the map to do. Odo's happy in top, still in isolation. It's all about mid-push right now, and whether Rogue can get this mid-tower or use spot-side vision.
Oh, trading ultimates back and forth. Cinkrof into the mid lane. NUCLEARINT going to step away.
So,
yeah, just a lot of these close trades in the mid lane.
Yeah, it's all about getting mid-push, and BDS are really struggling. They can't even get into bot-side river right now. They have to force their way through a lane if they want to do so, and it has to be mid. Matty's come up to help them out, and Larssen has no ult, so there's a little bit less threat, and they have to get some kind of vision here to force this dragon. Good news for them is Larssen has no ultimate for the dragon, so maybe they think that's their window to just start it up. NUCLEARINT could take away maybe the Nami ult instead, and then try to look for the 5v5. No TPs on top. It will be a 4v4.
This is such a difficult situation for BDS. No push on the bot lane means that they have to respond to that one. They're giving up control of the pit. It means Rogue get to come in, lay down a whole new set of vision. And you're just waiting to see xMatty in a choke point, use that ultimate, unleash all of his damage, given that he's already got the completed item there on the Leandries, but it's just not happening. Rogue are just playing the map better right now.
That's the dream, isn't it? 5-man Seraphine ult, 5-man Sion Q, Wukong around the flank, 5-man knock-up, Nautilus ult. Everybody dies. That's exactly what BDS would love, but Larssen has to be careful here. Cinkrof's going again.
Going in, maybe just trying to clear the wave, stop him from taking the tower. Stepping forward, posturing like he wants to do something else, because there's a Sion inbound. Oh, just short. Just a wee bit off on that one.
Yeah, BDS trying to put out fires on the map right now, and I mean, they lost the tower anyway. Now Odo will just take top tower. Comp's fighting Matty.
Matty very good when the first initial CC setup comes from the Nautilus. Obviously much harder to land anything on a Gale Force Lucian when that you're not first getting that hook or that Nautilus ulti knockup.
Comp might kill him here.
Matty sidestepping,
Gale
coming in.
Flash Gale Force. Doesn't have flash, won't commit, would be 1-for-1 anyway. So they're gonna hit bot tower as well. So Odoamne didn't get that top tower just yet. Trymbi wants to slow down Matty's base as much as possible. Both his summoners are gone. And now BDS are gonna get themselves a Herald. We'll see what they can do with it. No towers are low just now. And it's 1-for-1 on Drake, so not much scaling in their favor, of course. Just the champions, they just need more items. And gold deficit's pretty heavy for now.
And it's just a 4K gold lead. Caedrel. I mean, Rogue, again, when you look at the kill score, when you look at how a lot of these objectives are traded, it's so easy to be like, oh, this is a pretty close game. But then when you check the gold, you realize how massively far ahead Rogue are. And yeah, to a certain degree, you would expect this from their composition in the early game, but definitely not a lead to this scale.
Yeah, and the fact that BDS have objective bounties at minute 16 when you're even in Dragons just about tells you how these laning phases have gone. Rogue haven't even set up much in terms of ganks, right? They only have 2 kills for now. It's just about contesting the mid push to make sure they can keep the mid push.
Yeah.
And BDS wanted to stop the mid push so they could actually play the game. For now, they haven't actually been able to do so. Cinkrof, every single ult is whiffed. He went bot, only got Comp's flash, went mid. Larssen just eat away. Hasn't found any plays in the 3v3 yet. Hasn't found any numbers advantage. Hasn't found any kind of team fights, which is what BDS have drafted for.
Yeah, and again, credit to Rogue, because this entire week has been crazy in terms of results and expectations. Might see a play here on the bottom side, but you can see Rogue, the last team, it feels like, who are really finding their consistency alongside the Mad Lions. So important, because coming into this week, it felt like we had a clear top 6 after day 1 yesterday. The sheer amount of upsets make it very clear we don't have a clear top anything. The only thing we might have is a very clearly dead Larssen. A nice kick flash to find 2. Now Malrang stepping forward. Trymbi with a wave from all the way downtown, just to zone him away and back away.
Look at Odoamne, he's just hitting top tower. This is the power of the Gnar, the amount of pressure it puts on the map. You're just giving up so much. There's going to be a tier 2 falling. We'll see if BDS can kill him, because Maddie's on the way, Agresivoo's on the way. They have exhaust, so they have a lot of CC to work with, but do they have the damage? The answer is no, and although Agresivoo wasn't there, he was posturing to make sure he was around, because Odoamne has TP, Agresivoo doesn't. Therefore, if a fight kicks off, he needs to be in range to Sion ult. So he was hovering around the bot side, and then instantly your top tier 2 is gone, right? So there's so many pressure points on the map right now for Rogue. BDS have to try and find a pick so they can get vision somewhere. The only ward they have that's aggressive is in the top side jungle of Rogue, which doesn't really give you too much information at this point in the game. So they need to find their way in.
It's so hard, because that bot play, the first gank on the bottom side that killed Comp, was solid. It was a start. It was something to work off of, despite, you know, CS leads slowly growing in favor of Rogue. But every play after that has just completely whiffed. You talked about it earlier. Cinkrof, the ults, maybe finding a flash, not finding any kills. That bot side play, the fact that Larssen gets to walk away from that is crushing when you're already so far behind.
But you know what I've learned in the LEC in the last few weeks?
Oh no, it's not a good
10K
lesson.
gold lead is an illusion. Gold leads are illusions. How many times have we seen teams just like win one fight, get a Baron, objective bounty galore?
Remember this in your solo queue games, friends. When your friends are like, oh, you've been sprinting it the entire game. You're like, have I? Or am I just a very big LEC fan? Have I been building up for an epic comeback?
I saw this in a pro game and they won. I lost my lane on purpose. But yeah, objective bounties are just so powerful right now. The second you get one winning team fight and you can collect 2 or 3 towers, the gold stables up so quickly.
And we talk a lot about standing gold, especially when it comes to Barons. And for BDS, and again, this is the silver lining on a very dark cloud, but if they do win a fight with this many objective bounties, with this many towers standing, if they do get a Baron, you're looking at 4, maybe 5 towers worth of gold plus any objective bounties you get. It can swing so quickly. That's Cinkrof into the backside. Fight now kicking off. Seraphine ult across the team. And that, baby, was a clean setup. Rogue running for the hills. Odoamne on the top side, but there's no tower for him to push quite yet. Herald still standing in the mid lane for BDS to play around.
There's the power of the 5v5s. Yes, Odoamne isn't there, but the amount of chain CC that BDS have is incredible. The cheers come in for the crash, but no gold for BDS, so only 2 kills, no objective. Odo will just keep pushing sides, and this pressure point just means that BDS have to eventually back away, send Agresivoo back to top. Good picks, didn't end anything though. But punishing mistakes, good positioning by Cinkrof here, sneaking around on this pink wall, just says, guys, go now. He knows that Sion can ult in the blink of an eye, flash forwards from Erdote to make sure they get the engage. Chain CC comes in, Larssen lives with the stopwatch and flash afterwards, I believe.
Credit to Larssen for surviving in this exchange. But you can see how ready BDS are as a team to just pull the trigger there. Instant flash forward, instant
That's what they want,
burning
right?
every major CC cooldown. Yeah, looking and finding those picks is obviously going to be big. And again, tragically, there's no objective. So now, despite winning a fight around the Dragon Pit, it's Rogue who are free to start this. And again, objective bounties on the table for BDS. They would love to have any objective at all at this particular time.
Definitely would. And you can see in the top side, BDS want to take top tier 1. You know, they're doing Dragon, they're all bot side, they have no vision top side. It's free. No, it's not. Odoamne can clear the wave pretty happily. You can't 3-man dive this Gnar because, I mean, first of all, the wave will be too small, and second of all, you're probably going to go 1 for 1, 1 for 2, and lose towers across the other side of the map because Rogue can just start pushing in. So now they're going to go match Rogue and try and make a pick again onto Larssen. We'll see if they find it. Malrang and Larssen trying to catch out NUCLEARINT here. They get some bot side vision for themselves. Baron is up, but Rogue's Baron isn't the fastest. They want to look for fights, look for picks with the Lissandra.
Definitely. It's a similar story, obviously, for BDS as well. Neither of these teams really well equipped to take the Baron. Rogue arguably a little bit better as they have a traditional hyper carry but lack the front line of a Sion or something else to tank. So something we'll have to keep an eye on as we get later and later into the game. More likely than not, we're having to expect a big team fight win for either side to force.
Alright, just using a portal in their face. See you later, boys. He's out. So the game will slow down a bit unless a pick is found. And that's what Cinkrof is looking for. The game will slow down until the next dragon, I presume. Or unless Rogue decide to brute force down mid, which looks like Comp is very happy to do. Very far up on this mid wave. And they could try to start a Baron and turn. Their turn is pretty incredible if they have a Mega Gnar. You walk into a choke against Nami ult Lissandra. You're asking for it. So BDS have that sneaky ward in the Baron pit, I think. I think there's one ward in the Baron pit, if we could look at it, observers, that's giving them all the information they need.
Yep.
And Rogue need to pink that out. But they don't have any. Only Malrang does. So we'll see if he pops it in there. There it is.
Over the wall, there's the pink.
And now it's a guessing game for BDS.
And this is so big. Wave going across the wall. Cinkrof is going to get knocked up, but there's no follow-up there. And I just want to go back. Earlier in the game, we saw the play on the bottom side. The price was that tier 2 top side tower. And it didn't hurt that much for BDS when that play initially went down. It's a couple hundred gold, it's not a big deal. But now is when it hurts because you see how hard they have to fight just to get control back of the top side. Because every time Odo pushes that wave all the way in, it's so much free vision control for Rogue. Definitely difficult for BDS to play around. And now Odo's on the opposite side of the map. He always gets to be the one to start these pushes first. Comp stepping forward. xMatty, a lot of damage now being traded back. Comp, Colin going a little bit wide there. Agresivoo in the middle of the team. Odoamne now charging up that Gnar bar. Keep your eye on Odo. Where's the ulti going to go? NUCLEARINT can try to fire back with an ulti of his own. Zombie Sion not going to do anything here. Odoamne rooted up. Okay. Pacific Rim Part 3. Nope.
Odo still mega. He could jump over this wall here. I think Rogue just want to hit this mid tier too. Yeah, they don't have enough for Baron just yet. Even though they have that pick, 20 seconds on a respawn with a TP could go horribly wrong for them. NUCLEARINT has that Mega Gnar. He might want to look for something. Hook connects onto Larssen.
Forward. Larssen not able to do anything in this case. Almost flawless chain CC, just barely able to ult himself in time. NUCLEARINT, no Gnar ult left for him. Odoamne still off to the backside, still doing big damage as he tries to chase down these kills. Cinkrof is getting torn to pieces. Rogue absolutely monstering BDS.
Yeah, and that's going to be a Baron for sure. Jungle dead for 30 seconds. A lot of ultimates missing on the side of Rogue, but I think they'll have the damage and the time to be able to commit to this. NUCLEARINT, however, is going to TP in. I think the best ult for him here is probably the Nami or the Lucian. Try to chunk them out and get them as low as possible so that they aren't confident enough to go. Actually, it's Agresivoo TPing in, swapping to Smite. So, is the Sion going to run in and smite the Baron in their face? That's the question. Will Rogue let him?
Malrang, 8 seconds on Smite.
Oh, they don't actually have Smite. Yeah, nicely spotted there. 5 seconds on the Smite. Agresivoo has it. Oh boy, this could go horribly wrong for Rogue.
He's gonna have it. Odoamne going in, gnawing into the wall. xMatty, he can't get anything down. They just got absolutely one shot. Agresivoo still in the middle of it. Baron at 4k health. No one's been able to take it down. Zombie Sion can go in. Now they're trying to finish it off. NUCLEARINT off to the side. This has gotten very weird, very fast. NUCLEARINT with another ultimate in the back pocket, ready to go in for the fight, ready to step forward. Misses on the chains, finds the snare. Who's gonna get the Baron in the end? Who's gonna take it? It's Malrang, and Rogue still find it. It's not quite a 50-50.
A new challenger approaches.
Makes it work, and Cinkrof. Time to be one very tricky monkey. Gonna have to flash out to safety. Here come the big hops. Oh, the Gale Force forward. Let the man live. No one left standing.
Wow.
Rogue absolutely merciless.
So BDS lose 3 or 4 members. They lose the fight, and then one by one, they just walk into a Baron pit and die trying to contest. First, it's Agresivoo with NUCLEARINT next to him and Maddie, and then NUCLEARINT was also, I believe he was on bot wave, and he was trying to push out bot, and then I think Agresivoo TP'd in, and then all of a sudden he starts running top side, so a little bit of miscommunication there by BDS. I think they weren't sure if they were contesting it or not. In the end, that indecisiveness was punished by Rogue. Incredibly good turn. It looked a little bit dicey. And it all started with Erdote hitting a hook here onto Larssen, but he has so much survivability. It's the Everfrost into the hook, but then he just pops the self-ult. And then watch Cinkrof here. He thinks he can clean up this fight and go onto Larssen. Flash on him, jump on him. Nope, stopwatch. Now he gets kicked away, so the target they were looking for does not fall. And then the reforce on the Baron, all of BDS by that time of respawn. So let's keep our eyes on NUCLEARINT here, because Agresivoo TP's in, he goes to bot wave, and then runs back through mid to top. If he was here a bit earlier, and they actually had a 4 versus 5, they could have done a bit more. Good turn by Rogue, though. They knew if they don't turn now, this could go horribly wrong. Hits onto Maddie, and perfect execution.
Absolutely. There's no follow-up damage. There's no follow-up for that Sion ultimate hitting so many people, so it ultimately just does not matter. And while things could be bad here, NUCLEARINT whiffing on the chains is going to be big, because there's no opportunity to throw out that big Gnar ultimate. Perfect bubble from Trymbi, perfect follow-up. He gets nothing because, again, Larssen's ulti is off cooldown. Massive props to Larssen in this game. This man absolutely refuses to die. Every time it looks like he's about to, self-ult, stopwatch, someone coming in from downtown to kick the opposition away. He just will not go down.
Today's day you almost caught
He is.
Mr. Larssen on Lissandra.
I don't know what's Larssen's real name again? Captain something.
Emil. Oh, Ginger God.
Captain. You almost caught the Ginger.
Today is the day you almost caught the Ginger God. I think it's 3 or 4 times he escaped the Zult and the stopwatch combo by so much time in vulnerability. Now a 4-1 here from Rogue, pushing on. Okay, we've got an engage.
Cinkrof on the backside, knock up, Sion ulti, not quite going to connect. Larssen now in the middle of the entire team. NUCLEARINT has stolen away his own ulti, but again, Zanya's buying a bit more space. Knock up the follow-up as Larssen manages to make it out. Looks like a Mikhail coming in on the backside too. All of Rogue still standing. Taking down the take, taking down the front line, and oh, by the way, Odoamne, he's behind your team right now.
He's gonna go in here. He has no flash, but he has the Mega. He could look for Cinkrof. No flash. He could get the bullet to the wall. Oh no, run away from the Gnar.
Knock back, NUCLEARINT. No snare there quite yet. They're dashing out to safety. Odoamne saw it in his eyes, saw the moment, the big ultimate. The Rogue just gonna focus down these towers now, break the inhibitor line. Trymbi in the mid lane pushing as well with the empowered Baron minions. Should be an easy close here. BDS need a miracle fight. They don't really have any major ultimates. NUCLEARINT can take one away in the fight to come.
It's a whitewash, isn't it? They're going to get all the inhibs. Agresivoo's up in 10. I think BDS have to take the fight on this last inhib. Are they going to go for it? Hook next.
Hook, stolen, Gnar ultimate. Again, stopwatch coming in. Larssen finding the kills. Those are the resets. Those are the thralls. Everybody's dead. And now NUCLEARINT has to watch his friends run him down as frozen little zombies. Odoamne gonna throw the Sion back into his team. This is, got any children watching, avert their eyes. They don't need to see this. This is a slaughter.
This is slaughter. NUCLEARINT's left standing has a Gnar ult. It's gonna throw it out. We'll get one, it looks like. Stopwatch.
Cannot finish a kill. My God.
It's the cannot finish a kill any % right now because Rogue's always living on 1 HP and Larssen always has ultimate. How the hell does he always have it?
Rogue determined to hold on to their place at the top of the standings, moving up to 7-2, absolutely obliterating BDS in one of the most one-sided games we have seen this season.
Oh, what a rough weekend for BDS. Mads first.
I mean, certainly one of the,
and then Rogue.
I think, worst weekends we have seen from a team in a long time. For their sake, I hope they can shake it off and recover, because both Mad Lions and Rogue were able to just obliterate them.
New kids on the block. Well, not so much new kids anymore, but
sure.
Yeah, absolute demolishment from there from Rogue. Great draft, great execution, a little bit of early game that they had there that they had to win, but they checked all the boxes. Clean and simple, play through mid. BDS had no response, and again, weren't actually able to find anything in the early game.
Dang. Absolute slaughter. Well, for Rogue, good day. Good week, good first half of the season, 7-2, not a bad score. That's going to feel like a very comfortable second round robin. Again, teams usually qualifying for playoffs, 8-9 wins. We'll have to wait for a few more weeks before we can certify anything, but Rogue feeling like the one team in our league, alongside Mad Lions, really, that are clearly ready for the playoffs. That said, Kia player of the game at LEC on Twitter. Comp is one of them. We're going to wait for the graphic because I can't say it. They're Larssen and Trymbi.
Yeah, Larssen had a fantastic game, I think. Bought a lot of time with the self-ult and stopwatch. But I think you're right. Rogue is probably the most consistent team we have right now. Week 1, not so much, but they picked it up.
If you have any faith in me as budget David Bowie and him as budget little Peep, you should probably vote for Larssen. He did really well. He just didn't die. Like, he just didn't die. And obviously a lot of people helped him not die, but the sheer amount of cooldowns that man just ate without going down. I know Lissandra's supposed to survive. That's like her thing, but we just don't usually see games like that.
Yeah.
And just really incredible credit to the man.
I think he has a hack on. Ult cooldown hack, 25%.
For sure, for sure.
I don't know how he pulled it off.
Yeah, that's good. Let's just,
That, he was hacking. There we go. That's the conclusion on the desk.
Definitely you're not supposed to say that. It's fine. You didn't, All right, anyway. Super one-sided. We're gearing up for an interview here shortly. I'm excited to hear from the man on the top side of the map. Odoamne. Not too many spoilers. Quickshot's going to get to talk.
Odo was a bit quiet this game on his island.
He got to farm a lot. It was a weird game because on the one hand, it looked like a lot of things were happening, and it also felt like nothing was happening.
Yeah, for Odoamne especially. He didn't see his team in ages. He was just pounding on a Sion, pounding on a tower. Then eventually everyone showed up.
Yeah. Let's see how Odoamne felt about that a little bit later. For now, we're going to toss to break. When we return, Odoamne interview with Quickshot. Never mind, we're not going to the break. We're going straight to the interview. I've been baited. Go, interview. Woo!
Thank you very much. That's right, I have Odoamne with me. And I am going to ask, Odo, how did the game feel from your perspective? Because from our view, Rogue were significantly ahead throughout the entirety of the game, but there were a few chaotic moments and crazy fights. So were you nervous at all?
Not really. I mean, I felt like from the draft that we had all the tools to win, and going into the game, I think early game went pretty clean outside of a little bot lane incident. But I don't know. I think at some point I said that I can carry this game and I will 1v9 this game because I was starting to get really ahead and we had good control and vision over the enemy jungler, and I felt like I had a lot of power and leverage in this game. And I don't know, Larssen played really well as well. So I don't know, I think after we got Herald, I felt like this game was in the bag, because I think we killed mid at one point, and then I pressed tab and I see that my Lissandra's 50 CS ahead, and I knew the game was kind of in the bag. So I wasn't really nervous at all after the Herald. After we got the Herald.
I mean, when we were looking at the gold lead ballooning as well as the objectives, the dragons, it was very obviously Rogue favored. You guys are now sitting 7-2 in the standings, and I want to talk a little bit about what is it that makes Rogue so consistent, so stable. We see a lot of other teams dropping games in surprise fashion, but Odo, you and the boys consistently being at the top of the table.
I mean, I think it's the same thing that people criticize us for, that, we're solid, we're kind of boring at the same time, that, I don't know, we're not really doing anything special and stuff like that. And I feel like that's kind of, a decent step, or like a good stepping stone for us, or a good, foundation block to, consistently perform. The fact that we're not really winning in playoffs is a completely different story, but I don't know. I feel like the way we do things is just something that we can build, and now it's time to adapt in playoffs. It's try number 3 to adapt in playoffs if we make it, because
listen, the odds are in your favor. Come on, 7-2 after the first round robin. Let's remove Rogue from the talking point. What specific factors will help teams be consistent? Because it's something that we're seeing a lot of European squads struggling with.
I feel like there's not a lot of teams who are kind of, building habits. I feel like a lot of teams are just relying on creativity, when you have, for example, G2 has, insanely talented players, and they rely on creativity a lot, especially, in Chaos. They kind of have this X factor in mid lane that kind of helps them a lot, So there are teams like that rely on that, and there's also teams that try to be creative, but they don't really have the star power to do it. I don't know. I feel like teams don't really want to be boring, and they don't want to play smart and boring League of Legends and just play clean. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how other teams operate and how they do reviews of scrims and stuff like that. But from my experience in the past, there were instances, even in Rogue ourselves, we had instances where we were like, yeah, guys, we wanna be creative. We don't want to be this team that always plays the same. We kind of.
Odo, I love that, because basically each team needs to be a little bit self-aware, a little bit self-reflective, and then play to your strengths and cover your weaknesses. Listen, I don't have a huge amount of time, but I do have one last question for you. I've asked several players throughout the course of the day. We're wrapping up the first round robin, and I want to know now a prediction from you: which 4 teams will not make playoffs?
Oh man. Actually, I don't really know the standings, how it looks like at the bottom of the table.
I don't know. I don't know. Production, could we put the standings back up? We'll see if we can. We'll see if they can pull that one back up for you. What I can say, Team BDS is an instant easy one. So there's one of your 4. What are the other 3?
Oh man, it's hard. I mean, BDS, I think they're not going to make it. SK is a bit on resurgence right now, but I mean, it's hard. I don't see them being,
listen to me, man. I said I don't have a lot of time. Give me 3 team names. Three team names, and then we can go.
SK, Astralis, and Misfits.
Well, there we go. That's the bottom 4. We'll see if your prediction comes true. Odo, congratulations on a fantastic weekend. We're going to head to an ad break, and when we come back, Misfits will be taking on G2.